Hey everyone, Richard from Digital Foundry here. So recently we reviewed the Core i3-6100, hailing it as one of the best, if not the best budget CPU money could buy. But we were disappointed that base clock on the processor wasn't overclockable. The only OC option available is faster memory on a Z170 board, and that could have a dramatic impact on performance compared to stock 2133MHz RAM. In fact, as you can see here, a Core i3-6100 with 2666MHz RAM can beat a stock Core i5 2500K running on slower DDR3. Well now, Z170 boards can overclock any Skylake Intel processor as long as there's a BIOS update available. And here's the difference it can make. Crysis 3 on the Welcome to the Jungle stage at very high settings is an enormous workout for both CPU and GPU. Here we're comparing three setups with one common component, a GTX 970 running with an overclock in place. That would be 200MHz to the core and 400MHz to the RAM, applied with MSI Afterburner. The NVIDIA control panel has adaptive VSync in place, so it'll lock to 60 FPS without tearing for a great presentation when we hit that level of performance, and it'll drop VSync if it can't. On the right, we have the i3-6100 running at stock frequencies with the standard 2133MHz RAM, while on the left we have our quad-core 8-thread 6700K paired with 2666MHz DDR4. Now in the centre, well that's the interesting one, isn't it? We have the base clock up to 120MHz on the i3, so add that to the 37 multiplier and you're getting 4.4 GHz, and that's all paired with the same memory modules we used with the i7. However, we've had to be a little more realistic with overall speed on the RAM there when paired with the faster base clock. 2560MHz was the best we could do to ensure stability. Now we could always spring for faster RAM, and that would undoubtedly boost performance on all of the processors here, but this is supposed to be a real world test. 2666MHz RAM isn't that much more expensive than the slow stuff, so it should still be in budget for more value orientated rig. So the results are quite interesting. A maxed Crysis 3 poses challenges for the majority of processors on the market, and you really need a modern, highly clocked Intel quad to consistently push it beyond 60 FPS. There's a tangible boost to performance when the 4.4 GHz overclock is in place. In the moment comparisons are substantial, as you can see throughout the clips here, but ultimately for this game and others that really push CPU hard, there's no substitute for a modern overclockable i5 or i7. But this is just our first test using a game we know to cause problems for an i3. There is an uplift in performance here, that's undeniable, and our gut feeling is that if you're speccing out a Skylake system, even with an i3, a Z170 board with faster RAM really is the more future-proof option. It just gives you more headroom in CPU-bound scenarios. And that's important, especially with an i3, because it's really not difficult to be CPU-bound on that processor, and at that point, faster RAM really makes a difference. Check out the benchmarks in the links below to see just how much it can help. And obviously, you can overclock any locked Intel chip on the Z170 boards that have the BIOS support, so the Core i5 6500K in particular could prove to be an intriguing option. Hopefully we'll get around to looking at that at some point. Just make sure that the BIOS on the board supports base clock overclocking for non-K chips. Here we're using an MSI Z170A Gaming M5, but ASRock boards are known to support it along with Supermicro. Undoubtedly more will follow. That's all for now. Many thanks for watching. Please do like the video if you found it useful or interesting, and of course subscribe to Digital Foundry if you want to see more of the same and a whole lot more. Bye for now.